Welcome back to the Learn to Love You show. My name is Renita Hills, and I am your host for the evening. We're going to continue on our segment talking about safety planning. The first two episodes we did, we went through the preparations of when you're in the abusive relationship and you're living with them, how to get out safely. The next one we talked about when you're out, how to prepare your house and live safely. Now we're going to talk about safety on the job and in the public. We talked a little bit about that last time too. We're going to delve a little bit deeper. I do want to express again the importance of talking to your job, your supervisor, human resources, that you have a protective order or that you're even going through a domestic or abusive relationship. You can inform your boss, you can inform your security supervisor, and you can inform a trusted coworker. When I was going through my scenario, I told my supervisor. Unfortunately, for me, it didn't work out very well. So I found one of my coworkers, and I sat and I told her what was going on, and it made it easier for her to help me. When I say that, and I'm not going to go too much on my scenario. I went through a period where I wasn't sleeping at night. I'll talk about that on another show and why. But when my coworker realized that I wasn't sleeping and was not able to sleep at night, and I can go up to her and say, I'm going to take my break in the car. If I'm not back in 12 minutes, because my breaks were 15 minutes, if I'm not back in 12 minutes, come get me, knock on the car window, and make sure I'm awake. Because I would take naps in the car. At lunchtime, I only got 30 minutes, so I would tell her, if I'm not back in 27 minutes, set your alarm. If I'm not back in 27 minutes, come to my car and wake me up. Because that was the only time I would sleep. So you might need to find a trusted coworker to kind of support you and help you during that period of time when you're at work. We're not asking anybody to jump in the middle of anything, but we're asking them to take note and to be careful and to look out for you. I had a coworker. Absolutely love this person. She watched me all the time. And it was amazing to see how she watched me because when it was over, she was like, I knew something, but I didn't know what. As I started working with clients, I had a case where I told the young lady the same thing I'm telling you, to talk to a trusted coworker, and she trusted that person to tell them what was going on. So she started taking notes of when she was leaving work early or she was falling asleep at the desk, and when she drank a whole lot more coffee than normal, and she took notes, and those notes actually helped when they went to court. The girl didn't know that the notes were going to help that much, but the coworker told the young lady's attorney that she was taking notes, and they took the notes and presented it to the court, and those notes helped to get a good sentence charge on the abuser. Your coworkers can be one of your best advocates. Find one you can trust, that you can tell when something is going wrong or when you need help. When you're leaving work, another step, when you're leaving work, be aware of your surroundings. Have somebody walk you to your car. Some jobs don't have security, but if you have security, ask them to walk you to your car and make sure you drive off safely. Don't walk to your car alone unless if you can help it. When you drive home, learn multiple routes to go home. Don't drive the same way every day. Alternate. Take a different route. Yes, sometimes it might take you a few minutes longer to get home, but if you find somebody that's following you, turn, adjust, be flexible. Find different routes and different ways to go home and be aware of the people that are following you. And sometimes people are behind you just behind you because they're going in the same direction. But if you find somebody following you too far, make a left, make a right, take a detour, and see if they continue to follow. Once again, learn how to back your car into a parking spot. So if an emergency comes, you can get in the car and just drive away. If you use public transportation, be sure you are aware of your surroundings. Some of us have to take the bus. Don't knock it. Sometimes take different routes. If you take the A bus home this time and the B bus will get you there maybe a little bit longer, you might have to transfer one extra time. To be safe, change your route. Change the stop that you get off at. If one stop is a block away from your house and the other one might be 2 blocks away, take that as a walk day. Walk 2 blocks. Be aware of your surroundings. Be cautious. Try different grocery stores. I know we get hooked on one grocery store. I am so bad at this because I know where everything is at that one store. I barely have to think. Bam, 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 and I'm out. It can be the same store in a different location, but it seems like they stuff in different places. I know where the stuff is in this place. But if they know that's the store you favor, that's the store they might watch for you. Find different grocery stores. Or if not, not saying to always use Kroger or change from Kroger to go to Walmart or go to Meijer. No, I'm not promoting anyone. But change the location. If Kroger is your favorite store, change the location of the Kroger you use. If Meijer is your favorite store, go to Meijer on 10th Street instead of the one on 14th Street. Change your grocery store and where you're going to shop. I love my one bank, but there are many branches to that one bank. Use a different branch. Never go to an ATM at night. I don't care if you're in an abusive relationship or not. Never go to an ATM at night. That's dangerous. People are waiting to hurt folks at the ATM and take your money, and they don't care about you. They'll leave you right there and take your money. Use a different ATM and never go to one at night. We're going to move on to something a little bit more challenging. Safety with drug and alcohol use. If your abuser is a heavy drinker or if they're on drugs, that's a whole nother scenario. I'm not going to talk much about this because that is absolutely not my area of expertise. However, I am going to recommend that you talk to your local domestic violence network and get more information on how to work with somebody in that scenario. I do know that when every person reacts and responds to drugs and alcohol differently. One person can get drunk or get high and all they want to do is sleep. The next person get drunk or get high and they're super loud and rambunctious and they're super bodacious and they're just braggadocious. Yeah, I'm using big words and I'm gonna have a whole headache from using my big dictionary words. But those are the type of person they are when they get drunk or they get high. Then there's others that are argumentative. Nothing you do is right. You know how to work with your person. You know how to deal with that person. Work with them where they are and do whatever it takes to be safe and get out of that situation safely. Again, go to your local shelter, go to your local domestic violence network and find out their methods. That again, I am very quick to say I'm not an expert in every arena, but I want you to find somebody who is. It's not hard. Dial 211. That'll give you directions on your local area, domestic violence network, your local shelters, drug and alcohol associations, AA meetings. Those people are the best person to serve you. I will say this. You have to safeguard your children. Put them in a place when they're drunk. And I keep giving scenarios, but that's the best way I can explain. I have a lady that I worked with years and years and years ago. Her husband would get drunk every Thursday night and he'd go to her job, take her check, get drunk off of her money. And on Friday, he would not go to work. And if he did work, he only worked half a day. And he would still stay drunk and he would get even drunker and drink even more. Friday after evenings, that's when the beating and the abuse came in. She would not leave him. She had to learn how to work with it. And I said, why won't you just leave? You have the resources. She said, because he pays for my nursing education. Yes, I have to go through all of this craziness. Every Thursday and Friday, I have to go through craziness, but I've learned how to take a hit. I know that sounds crazy, and I'm not recommending you to do this, but she said, I learned how to take a hit because it pays for my nursing education. And when I get my education, I can leave with a better job. She had a plan, not the best plan, and I'm not recommending that plan, but she had a plan. And on Friday night, she took her kids to her mother's house. They spent every Friday night and some Saturdays with her mother. Tuition time came. I don't know why I'm writing this check for you. You ain't going to do nothing with it. Here. He paid her tuition. He paid for her books. Every semester, she graduated with honors from nursing school. He did not come to graduation. She talked to her attorney. She talked to me, and she said, I asked her, what are you going to do now that you have your degree? What are you going to do when you get across that stage? She said, I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do, but I'm not going to tell you where I'm going to go. I said, okay, now I'm curious. She said, I know he's not coming to graduation. He's going to work all day long. He's going to go out and he's going to get drunk. He's not going to come back until early morning. What I'm going to do is on the day of graduation, I got a bunch of people that are going to help me load up my U-Haul, and they're going to park it at my mom's house. I'm going to walk across that stage. My kids are going to be proud of me. My mom's going to be proud of me. They're going to have the U-Haul sitting there waiting in the parking lot. I'm going to get in that parking lot, and I'm going to leave the state. And I said, where are you going? She said, not telling you that. I said, well, who knows where you're going? She said, when I get where I'm going, my attorney will know where I'm going, and he'll know to go ahead and file for divorce. I'll be safe. I was like, wow. She said, but until then, I have one semester left. Until then, my kids will spend every Friday and Saturday with my mom. I'm not suggesting that as a plan. I said all that to say, have a plan. Get a plan. Sit down and work the plan out with somebody you trust that can help you execute it successfully. What she did, exactly what she said she was going to do. They packed that U-Haul up. I was at graduation. I saw the U-Haul at the far end of the parking lot. Her car was hooked on the trailer. She looked phenomenal going across that stage. Her children were so excited. Her mom cried. Excuse me. Her mom cried. We hugged and we loved on each other. We went out to dinner. And after dinner, her mom completely fell apart. And she said, would you take my mom back home? And I did. She drove to her state of choice. And about 2 weeks later, I got a phone call saying, we're safe and my attorney has filed for the divorce. She was so happy. You can hear in her voice the fact that she was safe. She had a good job waiting on her. The apartment she had initially was super small, but they had a safe place to lay their head at night. And they didn't have to worry about somebody coming in drunk and swinging at her. She didn't have to worry about hiding her kids under the bed or sending them to her mom's house. They slept safely in their home, that little small apartment. And her voice, you can hear in her voice how happy and how safe she felt and successful she was. She already had a nursing job lined up. Not suggesting this as a plan. I am saying have one. That worked out for her. Find one that would work out for you. With that being said, that's going to be the end of our segment for tonight. We have one more. So stay tuned. Tune back in for our next show. The next one, we're going to tie this whole thing together. We're going to give you a list of things that you can work through. Of course, we're going to always give you the 800 number, and we're going to strongly suggest, that you do what you need to do to be safe. Remember, God's fingerprints are all over you. You were fearfully and wonderfully made by the hands of God. When he sat down and created you, he built you in your own uniqueness, and nowhere in your heart, your mind, your body, or your soul did he say punching bag. You are not built to be physically, mentally, emotionally, sexually, financially, or in any way abused or beaten or broken. You are fearfully and wonderfully made by the hands of God. Remember, as we say goodnight for this section, beneath your skin and behind your eyes is an absolutely beautiful you. Learn to love you. Until next time.